Okay, legends, welcome back to the channel with another Overlord, Lord of Nazarick video. And it's finally the time for us to explain every set, every relic, and talk about them and tell you which characters mostly benefit from the sets and which sets are to avoid, and I will explain why, and I will tell you why to farm them and why not. First of all, we're gonna go and check every set that is available in the bosses, and then we're gonna go to the shop and check what is the sparkle effects for them and why they are high top tier. First, we have the first boss, which I didn't clear actually because I don't want to farm anything from this boss. I will leave it until the end. Maybe I will just go and upgrade everything. The best sets are not from this boss, okay? So first we have the warrior set. The warrior set is a set that is used universally, globally on any character. So if you farm this at the start, or if you have this set fully equipped and fully functional, you're gonna play defensive style. This is one set that I would say, if you have it, that's good for you. Use it until you get a better set. So it increases the defense of your teammates or of your character that have it. This is the effect set on the character, not on the entire lineup. Grant a 10% damage reduction when attacked. So it triggers only one time. So whenever you get attacked, you just take 10% less damage. It does not matter what it is, even if they nullify your defense. 10% of the damage that they deal, not what they deal to you, what they deal actually by their own skills, will be nullified regarding defense reductions. Plus it will give you a little boost of defense, which is great, and it goes up. The 10% goes up to 18%, which is good, or I think 12.5. We're gonna read the sparkle later. Now, next, we have the Red Dragon set. The Red Dragon set, in my opinion, one of the worst sets. Do not avoid it. It's not good. It's not helpful. You don't want to use this set. If you got it and playing it, in the future, change it for a better set. There's a better set that does what this one do, but in a better way. So it increases your HP, maximum HP, by 10%. And after getting attacked, there is a 10% chance that goes up to 20% if it's a sparkle set, to reduce the cooldown of a random skill every round. So triggered once per round by one. So reduce it by one. So if you get attacked, there's this a chance, a 12%, it goes up to 12.5, I think, or 15%, a 10% chance, which is a very low chance. Even if it goes 20%, 20% chance is a low chance for you to just randomly get off a cooldown of one skill. You don't want to play that. What if the enemy didn't attack you the first round? They just buff and buff and buff and heal themselves and get shields and stuff like that. You wouldn't be affected by it. This is one of the worst sets actually in the game. Do not go for it. Now, we're going to talk about the Sterling set. The Sterling set gives also defensive. As you see, these are defensive sets, but this one is globally. All of them are global. You can play it on any lineup. But this set specifically, the Sterling set, goes for tanks. So it increases their defense and increases all allies' defense by 5% of the wearer's defense. So if you're playing it on somebody like PDL, Knight Albedo, Valkyrie Shaltir, and they have high defense, the higher the defense, 5% of it will be transferred for your entire team. Yes, you can play an entire team with this set and you'll boost your defenses, but this is the worst thing that you can do, because there's a set that will nullifies it completely and destroy it. So that's the first boss that we showcased. Let's go to the shop and check the sparkles and what they say about it. So the first set that we talked about, which is reduce the damage taken by 10%, goes up to 18% for the first hit that you take, which is great, universal. You can play it on any character. 18% sparkle. And for the people who's asking what's sparkle, it's when it's a rainbow, when it's a prism, when it's not legendary. So if you're playing 3 legendary, it procs and the set activates, but you need the 4 of them to be prism, not legendary. Prism to gain 18%, not 10%. This is the only way it's sparkle. It means shiny. All of them needs to be shiny. So this is a universal set, good set, a good tier set actually. If you want to play it, it's not bad, it's not the best, and it's reducing the damage that you take from the first action that you get hit with. So the second one, which is the Red Dragon set, goes up to 20% and reduces the cooldown of one skill if you get hit, which is one of the worst sets. Avoid this set in any way, shape or form. Now, we have the Bayan set, which we talked about, applies 5% defense boost to the team, the entire team, up to 7.5 from the wearer's defense. So if you wear it on somebody that has 1000 defense, 5% or 7 up to 7.5 on Sparkle will be applied to your entire team, Good set, not the best set in the game. Also, it's a good set to start the game with, since if this is the boss, the first one that you fight when you go into the game. Now, let's talk about the second boss, which have the best set in the entire game right now, and this is why I get it to 13 and I'm farming it. The second easiest boss to farm. It has two of the sets that you need to go and farm. First of all, we have the Termination set, which is the best set in the entire game for attacking. And I will tell you why, and hopefully they will fix that. I hope that the devs fix that, because it's absolutely ridiculous. We tested it, we tried it. Imagine with a healer, I'm one-shotting with their auto attack, their highest tier tank. I'm one-shotting Knight Albedo with my auto attack from my healer. Yes, this is what you hear. From Henry, with this set, is one-shotting units. You one-shotting my tank, the tank enemy on the same high level. So what does it do? It gives you 15% boost in crit rate, which is great, and it nullifies 30% of the target defense. Now you're gonna tell me, what do you mean 30% only? This 30%, if you're gonna play it with the Sparkle, so here we go to the exchange, and here we go, with Sparkle goes up to 30%, so 25%, 20% goes to 30%. What does 30% do? You can play this set, it nullifies 20% of the target's defense, the target that you're attacking, right? The bug in the game right now, if you're playing all of your team, the 4 characters, this set, the 30%, that's a 120% minus on the enemy's defense. So I'm hitting with my healer. If I play all my team, everybody are wearing the Sparkle set or the Termination set, I'm attacking the enemy, one hit, one shot, killing the enemy, because they have minus 120. So if they have like 10% defense bonus, that's minus 110. If they have it at plus 20 or something like that, that minus to 0 defense. And it crits. You have a 15% crit rate. So if you're playing it with a tank or with like somebody like Evil Eye or Momon or Albedo, made Albedo, or Aura, or Brain, and they start the battle and they want to attack or do something, they're absolutely shut down. This is the best set right now in the entire game, okay? The second best set, which is the Stars set, which increases the counter, the assist, the chase damage by 25% up to 35%, and the boost from it, let me read the boost. Come on, every time I need to walk here. So the boost from it is plus 15% attack. So you increase your attack, you increase the damage that you do by the chase, by the assist, by the counter, which is great for Aura, great for Maid Albedo, for Momon, for Gazev, for Brain, for Sebas. All of these characters are accessible, especially people are building now Momon. People are building now Maid Albedo because their banner is up and they're there, and Brain is free. And if you have Aura just like me, you were lucky to get her to 6 stars or 5 stars, she will shred entirely because it applies on chase, assist, and counter, and all of these have this skill, which is crazy. It's an insane set. I need it for my Aura, actually. I need it for Brain. They play on counter, they play on chase. And if you're having Maid Albedo, she has assist. You can play it on her. Counter with Momon, Gazev, Sebas as well. You can play them on that. Absolutely an insane set to go and play with. Now, we have the Sunset set. The Sunset set also gives you 15% bonus in attack, but it's the worst set for attackers to play. If you have it, wearing it on somebody, in the future, change it for something better. Something like the Termination set or something like the Stars set. The Sunset set is the worst set to play on an attacker. Why? It gives you bonus 15% attack. Perfect. This is the only good part about it. These 7.5% extra damage for every 20% HP lost by the target. If you're playing a lineup that an enemy that is not losing consistently, they're keeping healing, they're shielding, and they're up always above this threshold. They're not below 80% of HP. They're always at 81, 82% HP. You're not gonna benefit from this set. You need to get them low, and if somebody full heal them back again, this set, you wanna reapply the damages so you can deal the damage. One of the worst set in the game. Avoid that in any way, okay? This is the bad farm about this monster or this boss, the Primal Elemental Fire, which is you're gonna get a lot of this Sunset set, which I will dismantle immediately. I will never play it, even if I have it complete. I will play the Star set or Termination set, best 2 sets in the game right now, and I will talk about the second best sets in the game on the final boss. Now let's go to talk about Fan, this boss. So I didn't completely go and farm him. Again, he's a great boss to farm because he have one of the best sets as for characters normally. So on Prism or on Sparkle, you're gonna get plus 15% bonus in attack. That's great. Or yeah, on Prism it's plus 15, this is plus 10. Deals an extra 15% damage, up to 30% actually when it's Sparkle, when target, or up to 20%. I'm gonna check it now. Deals an extra 15% damage when the target HP is above 40%. This is one of the most consistent set. Universally, you can play it on any attacking character. Why? Because it will guarantee you an increase of damage when the target is above 40%. Do you start your battle against targets with lower than 40%? No, of course, all of them will be above 40%. Then you will deal a lot more damage when you start the battle. That's great, specifically with characters like Evil Eye that one shot or starts the battle that immediately want to kill people, immediately they want to drop it on HP. She starts when their HP is high, she goes and immediately deals incredible amount of damage. Which are they also above 40%? Yes, so she will apply even a 15% boost up to 20%. And this is amazing for any character. So at the start of the game, they will give us a lot of this. And this is the first Sparkle set that you are gonna complete and get. Because also if you go to the Holy Ruins, you're gonna go and farm it and it will give you a full set of it. So it's absolutely fantastic. This is a good set to have as a backup. Now, we'll talk about the champion set. Increases the HP and recovers 7% of after action. I'm gonna talk about that. And here it gives you crit rate. And there's a 20% chance to reduce the skill's cooldown by 1 round for every round after this skill is used. So we'll talk about that. I'm gonna go and first to the shop and show you that. So if we're gonna go to the shop or the exchange, here's the sets. Where is it? Sunset, we talked about this. So it deals above 40% up to 20%. So it deals 20%, not 15% anymore. As we said, if you're having a Sparkle set. This is one of the best top tier sets. Now you're gonna tell me, oh, this is like lifesteal. Yes, kind of like lifesteal. But the cool thing about it that you play it with units that do support. Something like Yuri, something like Knight Albedo, something like PDL. Why is it so good on them? Other than it gives them the buff, which is the defense at the start or max HP, recover 7% of max HP up to 10%. This is 10% if it's Sparkle, okay? You can pair it up with something like, let's check, we have the cards of Albedo right now, the new Albedo. So if you're playing, forget the Albedo one, the general effect, 60% chance to recover 5% max HP. Of course, if you max it, it's at 10%. So 10% from the set, 5% from that. This is a 15% for the first time only. And the second time, it will be 10%, 10%. You're going to tell me, but this is like, I don't want to pull for this Arclight. Don't worry, you don't need to pull for this Arclight because we have other Arclights that you can use as an SR to trigger that, which is one of them is this one. So grant 60% to recover 3.5, and if you max it, it goes up to 7%. I think on 3 stars, it goes to 5%, which is absolutely insane. Okay, it triggers once per action. Once per action, it doesn't mean that is... So 1 per action, it means if you're just healing twice in one, like doing 2 actions at the same time, it does not work. But once per action, it means every time you get hit and you trigger an assist or something, or support or something like that. If you don't have this one, don't worry, because there's another one that does the similar thing for it, which is, I think it's this one. So the 8th, which is really great as well. Increase by 60%, 3.5 goes up to 7%. So you can have a lot of options playing this set. Absolutely a crazy good set to have. Where we are at here, this was the set that we're talking about, which is the champion set. A great set for tanks, very important for units that has the supporting skill, such as Yuri, PDL, Knight Albedo, and any tank that will, like 8th, that go and tank for you. Now, we're gonna talk about this one, which will give you 15% crit rate as well, which is great. The Vert Mario set. So gains a 20% chance up to 40%. It goes up to 40% to reduce the skill of the cooldown of the skill that you're using. So if you use the skill, like the ultimate of Mari, this is great for Mari. If you use her ultimate, you apply the seed and you deal the damage and reduces the cooldown, so you can spam it again and go apply the seed and use the double effect of the seed, or the double debuff on them, and gets the double of the healing amount that you get, which is great. It's a universal set. You can use it on any carry. the good thing about it, it goes to up to 40%, not like this one that goes up to 20% if you get hit. This one, you know what you're gonna get. So whenever you press a skill, this skill might have a chance to reduce the cooldown, which by 40%, which is a huge 40%. It's 4 out of 10 times. It's absolutely crazy. So next, we have the Heartfire. Okay, we're gonna go and read it from here, which is the tree. Farming the tree. Many people are telling me, we need guides to farm the tree. The tree is insane. We wanted a set of them. The sets are okay. It's not the best sets in the game, but it's okay. Okay, it's a good tier set. I would say in low A, high B rank or tier. So the Crimson set, plus 15% attack. This is absolutely crazy, and deals damage equal to 40% of all initial targets hit upon using an attack. A crit deals do not work. What does that mean? This set is super important for Demi users. You will not be building him on crit rate anymore or crit damage. You're gonna play him only on attack boost and EP boost. EP, which means, let's say, effect precision or something like that. So effect accuracy it is. So you will deal insane amount of damage equal to 40% of attack to all initial targets. So he'll use AoE. The 40% does not only apply to his damage that he does with the AoE, but the burn that ticks on top, the debuff on top of your enemies, it will gain a 40% increase as well because of this set. We tested it. It's crazy with Demi. You wanna play it with him. Even you can play it with Cocytus. It works as well. Albedo, you want her to crit, because the more that she crits, the more that she deals damage, especially with her second skill. But you can apply it also on Albedo. She'll stop critting, but she will deal increasingly more damage. This is one of the great sets to play damage over time. Any unit with bleed, any unit with burn, they will deal extra 40% on their debuff. So the bleed will deal more damage, and the burn will deal more damage, but you will not crit anymore. This is the downside of it. A great set. I would highly recommend you to test it. I would say one of the good sets in the game, this one. Next, we have the Desolation set. The Desolation set is a set that is also relatively good because you can play it on units that apply debuff, or you can play it on any lineup that you want because it will help you apply debuff, increase EP, 30%, increase effect precision or effect accuracy after dealing damage with a single target or AoE, respectively 75% and 30% fixed chance to grant the target a random dot triggered up to 2 times for each round. So you can get bleed, burn, or shock. So how does it work? You're gonna have 75% to inflict 1 dot. Then the next dot, it has a 30% chance to be inflicted on the same round, which is great actually. It will help you with a little bit of damage, specifically for bosses that you want to farm in Treasury. So like you want to farm the tree, you want to farm something else, you want a lot of dots, so it will deal more DPS and trigger more. So this set might help you versus that. In PvP, it will not help you if they have one cleanser that cleanses all debuffs, such as Lupus Regina, which is an SR character. She will absolutely destroy this set and it will not help you out anymore. I would say avoid the Desolation set unless you want to have a set of it just to farm bosses such as the tree. So if you want to farm the Chaotic Devil tree, also this set works. Now, the Heartfire set. So it will increase your HP by 15%, enhances healing effect by 12%, and doubles the effect of the target healing by 50%. So it's great for healers. This is a stable. You can play this set on any healer that you have. It will increase the healing rate, and the one that is below 50%, they will get an extra healing, which is absolutely nice and fine. This set is universal for healers. You can play it here. I would say from all of these sets to farm, this is safe to farm and play it on any healer if you don't have better sets. But this set, for Demi users, for Cocytus users, you can play this. I know they want to crit and they do a lot of crits. You don't even need to roll on crits anymore. You only want to roll on EP and on plus attack, and that's it. Maybe HE and defense to survive, but they will deal increasingly more damage with their raw attack on the debuffs. Okay, now let's go and talk about the last boss. This is the best 3 sets in the game for you to farm consistently. It's the easiest boss in the entire game to farm. You can farm him with R-rated characters. R-rated characters. Yes, I'm not joking. You can farm him with R-rated characters, and the only character you need on this lineup is Nigun. Only him. Use his second skill, and that's it. You're happy dandy. Everybody gets shields. then you're gonna go and heal with him. They will attack you. He uses his shields again with passively. Then when it's off cooldown, you can use his skill again, and you can farm this boss infinitely. I farm him on auto. I just do continuous battle, put everything that I have on stamina and go and farm it. He has one of the best sets in the game. Plus, he have two relatively great sets. All of the sets are good and universal. You can use them. So we're gonna talk about the alchemy set. Plus 15% in HP before taking an action. Before taking an action, if it's your turn with the character, you're gonna 100% put an attacking buff on your highest attacker and the defensive buff on your defensive character. But you can do only one buff per round. So before taking an action, there's a 100% fixed chance to grant attack boost or defense boost to ally for 2 rounds. Attack boost prioritizes to find the ally with the highest attack, while defense boost for the highest defense. It means you're buffing your attacking character. The first time that you go into an action, 100% you're gonna give an attack boost to your higher attacker. Great, perfect, you're gonna have that. Now, for 2 rounds, second round, what will happen? You still have the attack boost, so you will not give him back an attack boost. You will go and give your tank or the highest defense character on your lineup a defense buff, which is great. You can play it on your tank, you can play it on your healers. This set goes universally on both tanking or healing or buffing or some supporting characters. Do not play it on attacking characters. You don't need the plus 15 on HP. You want something to crit or something to deal more damage. Now, my favorite set, execution set. Plus 15% attack. That's at the start. When attacking, deals 20% higher damage against targets with debuffs. This set is absolutely great and universal. You can play it on any other character, on every single carry in the game. Why is that? So far, there is no lineup that you will never inflict debuffs on the enemies. If there is only one debuff, you'll deal 20% higher damage. Not normal damage, higher damage, which means bypasses shields, which means bypasses immunities, which means bypasses defense. This is what higher damage is. It means you will make 20% more damage. You will not be negated. So the attack reduction on you will not be considered an attack reduction for the 20%. So the 20% will always work. So keep that in mind. And you'll tell me, where did you read that? Where did that come? I didn't read that. This was an explanation from a Chinese player that played the game on China on different releases and told me this is how it works, higher damage. So keep that in mind. So we have 20% damage that will deal against debuff. I'm playing it on my Aura. Does Aura inflict debuff? Yes, she does. Chase, when she hits somebody, she applies the chase mark on them. That's a debuff. Even if this debuff doesn't apply a damage, it's still a debuff. So they have debuff. By default, she will increase her damage by 20%, which is absolutely crazy. Even Brain, when he goes and attacks somebody that has debuff, he will gain this extra plus 15, plus 20% damage, which is crazy. This is a farmable set that you can go and absolutely farm it and grind it for days. Now, the last set, which is one of the great sets as well, increases 30% in ER, effect resistance. It means you will gain effect resistance on your lineup to not get debuffs. That's by on your unit that's holding, not on your lineup. The unit that is holding that. And I highly recommend, you can use it on healer, you can use it on a buffer, on a debuffer, on a support, you can use it on a tank as well. So if no damage is dealt after an action, so any action, there will be a 100% fixed chance to remove one random debuff from allies. Great. From allies, it means from any ally, you have one to remove it from one specific ally. It does not go like remove one debuff from all the allies. No, it removes one debuff from one ally every time. Now, what's good about this set? There's a 100% fixed chance. It means 100% you're gonna remove it if no damage dealt after action. Not any action, after an action. So if you're playing it on somebody like, let's say Henry, her turn starts, she either buffs, she either attacks, or she either heals. So if she didn't attack with her goblin, if she buffs just immediately when the starts, this is an action. So she will not deal damage, she just buffed. So you will remove a debuff from, or cleanse a debuff from your allies that the enemy is inflicted on you. And then she will use an action. If she heals again, that's an action that does not deal any damage. It does not say every round or for one round. It's for every action that happens. It means she will go and remove another debuff. and if she heals, that's the same thing. So absolutely crazy with units that do multiple actions with their passive or anything else. So you can have them on that. Specifically Henry, I got it on my mind because Henry, this is how she functions. She just trigger a passive, which is a healing or a buffing. This is an action that removes the debuff. Then she goes and heal. This is another action that does not deal damage, that also cleanses. You can use it on your tanks. Somebody like, let's say, PDL, or somebody that deals damage, or somebody like Yuri. She buffs herself so she can take aggro. She didn't deal damage. She can cleanse one debuff on a unit, especially with the healing down. This counters Shaltir, the mage Shaltir, very, very much, because Shaltir goes and hit you with her second skill. She gives you no healing on the target that she hits with her second skill, and it's a debuff. And if it's removed, then you can heal after that, which is very, very awesome. So basically what I'm saying, farm the last boss, which is the easiest boss. The second easiest boss, which is the fire elemental. You don't need anything on this lineup. You can go and attack it. You only need Regina. Lupus Regina will go and cleanse everything on your units because the burn that he inflicts on. I don't know if they use it here. They don't say that she's even here. I have this unit, I have this unit, I have all of these units. I couldn't finish it without a healer. They didn't recommend a healer. Yes, I used it with Henry. I kept the burn on Henry because I'm over leveled a little bit with my characters. This is how I cleared it. But if you have Lupus Regina built, she will absolutely use her ultimate, cleanse you, and that's it. Happy days. You can go and finish this boss because this is the best set in the game, the Termination set. Go and farm it. Try to get as much as Termination set as you can. It's bugged right now. I hope that they fix it because nullifying 120% of defense on your enemies will be absolutely crazy in the future. And yeah, that's basically it about it. Let me know in the comment section, what do you want to farm and what do you think that is best for your playstyle, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.